And I'm wondering... Oh, that's a very good telekinesis right on the Talon ult, right?
If you ask the pros, what is the best character in the game, they will tell you idiotic things like, oh, it depends on team comp, and oh, what time of the game is it? I call Croc. The only way to determine the best hero in the game is through a 6v6 mono-hero single elimination tournament. That is the only 100% fair way. Today's match?
Wraith v Talon, ladies and gentlemen, we are live with yet another majestic game from One Trick Championship. It's going to be a spicy one. This is one of the two games that got delayed, Kelvin v Sinclair being the other one. So I'm very excited to see some of the top NA players playing this one around. I'm not here all alone. I do have the lovely Occurs here.
Hello.
Yes, he is alive indeed. So we are going to be casting this game. So any initial thoughts? Who do you think has an edge in this game?
I definitely think, despite being nerfed recently, Grey Talon has the edge in this early game right now. Because, as you know, Grey Talon's early game is incredible, being able to get a lot of damage on those charge shots very early.
Oh, yes. Like, one of the best laning abilities, without a shadow of a doubt. Pause lock. Anyhow, that gives us a little bit more time to talk. But regardless, the most important thing that I want to point out is at 3K, those great talent ults are really powerful in and of themselves, right? But one thing that I was thinking about was, what happens if you have a full health character and you just shoot them with 3 owls? They die, right?
Hopefully.
Yeah, so you don't even have to like take the characters low. You don't have to hunt them down. You just have to launch 3 talent ults, one after another, one after another. I do agree with you. I do think that Talon is slightly favored. However, the community disagrees with both of us. It seems that we've asked the community, players from all ranks, some Eternus, some Initiate, and 15 of them think that it is the Wraiths that win this, and 12 think it's the Talons. What do you say to that? Do you think the Wraiths...
I think the reason that Wraith is more favored by the community is solely by the fact Wraith is just M1 character. Most M1 characters outside of Haze have been really successful so far.
Yes. And Haze had the big problem with her coding, right? The fixation stack problem. It's not like Haze was a weak character in of herself, right? So, yeah. I think that... but I would say Haze is on the weaker side, but still. Regardless, yeah, no, M1 characters have done very, very well this tournament. So I'm very curious to see what's going to happen. And those telekinesis are one of the best ways to get those talents out of the sky. I think we're going to see a whole bunch of knockdowns and a whole bunch of tech like that. But I'm very curious to see what happens at 3K. 3K for me is the big turning point in this match. If the Talons coordinate their ults in such a way that they can just instantly kill Wraiths one after another, this game will be over pretty quickly. If, however, the Wraiths match to teleport themselves away, I think it's just going to be a lot more fun to see the Wraiths go ahead in this one. Yeah, very, very funky game. Very, very funky game ahead. Now, one thing that I do have...
agree.
Yeah, one thing that I wanted to say before we all start is one of the most important things that you have to do in this sort of match is play multiple different builds. So it's just, you don't get denied with one armor, right? And Talon, most Talons are going to go Spirit, right? But Talon has a fairly viable gun build to an extent that a card build for Wraith isn't, right? What do you think of card builds for Wraith?
I think card builds for Wraith used to be very good, but they've been consistently nerfed since they were last really relevant.
Yeah. No, so it's going to be very difficult to see what a Spirit Wraith might look like in this sort of scenario, right? And if everybody's going to have to go gun, that just makes it very easy for Talons to get their armors, which gives them a big edge in the mid game and the late game. Regardless, for now, one of the big things that Wraith has going for her is, yeah, she might not have the raw amount of damage that Talon might have, but she's very good at denies, and we do see the Wraiths are even a little bit ahead despite being very behind on kills. 3-0 already, just because of their great denial ability.
I definitely think once we get to that 3k mark, which we're seeing some characters already at 3k souls, both of the fights for both sides are going to be getting a lot closer because...
Oh, we do see a Talon ult flying. Can we get an owl cam? Ooh, not enough damage. Yeah, I don't think one Talon ult is gonna be enough. I think you're gonna need at least 3 or 4 to kill a full health character, and I think it's just gonna be a question of hunting them down. Like right now, that Wraith in the half lost stage, that's not gonna be enough for Talon to kill her, but 2 Talon ults just might. So we're gonna see a very explosive intro to this game.
It looks like all the Wraiths are very low right now.
Yes. Yeah, they're definitely bruised. And I'm wondering... Oh, that's a very good telekinesis right on the Talon ult, right? That's one way to disrupt the ult hitting you, right?
I definitely think that it's kind of to be expected for all of the Wraiths to be pretty low against this Grey Talon lane because of Grey Talon's incredible poke.
Yeah, but I mean, don't you think you would have seen a little bit more? I love the Enchanter's Barrier. I think it's a great item, especially in the Talon lane. I would have thought I would have seen a little bit more sustain items. Well, not necessarily monster armor, but something like sprint boots, extra regen, just so you're able to endure the constant onslaught of the Talons. And wait till you get that telekinesis and just get those Talons out of the sky. Yeah, those 2 Talons flying are very scary, right? You're just gonna die very easily to them. Talons just are very easy to shoot once you're up. Another owl cam coming in. We do see one of the races incredibly low, but not enough. Oh, no, the second owl probably got her. But yeah, no, this is gonna be the whole early game.
Looks like Stars is gonna die. Yeah, Stars got killed by the Wraith.
Yeah, I'm not like, I think the Talons have an edge. I do think that Wraiths can still do something this game. I don't think that Wraiths are completely toolless. I think that they're going to be able to like close the distance. I think those cards are going to be scary. We do see one of the Wraiths already gone for a little bit more of a card build. That was kind of funky. That was a funky owl. Just you approach him and he kills you. Yeah. Do we see any of the builds crystallized yet?
I wouldn't say that we see any builds like set in stone right now, but we do see an interesting buy of Soul Shredder bullets on Swoop right now.
Yeah, presumably going for a more card-heavy build, just because one of the people has to go for card-heavy builds, right?
Most likely, yes.
Yeah. So... yeah, no, I think it's going to be very interesting to see how this game develops. Very equal so far. A very small leech for the Wraiths, of all people. As we said, the power of denies is just so big. But I think the Talons are just going to be a lot better in the more 6v6 situations where they can chain the owls instead of right now where they're just focused. Wow, the Wraiths are very well aiming the Talon ults. Like, the moment of the Talon ults, immediately there's a telekinesis to follow up on that, just so they can block the owls whenever they can. But I guess that means that the Talons still have their owls, right? Yeah, constant picks happening here.
I might have dismissed the card builds too early for Wraith. Swoop seems to be using the card builds incredibly well.
Yeah, I mean, like, in early game, they're great. It's just they really fall off in the middle to late game. But we've seen it time and time again over this format. It's not about the late game as the mid game. If you get a huge lead very early on, you don't have anything else to worry about. You just like roll, even if you're theoretically the losing side in the matchup. The early game just matters so damn much.
I don't think it was caught on stream, but I want to point out something really tragic. Raynor was actually unable to secure a kill on one of the Grey Talons in mid. I believe it was Stylar, because there is a bug right now where a Grey Talon in Ultimate is untargetable sometimes.
Oh, yes, I'm
And
familiar with
Rayner
that
was
bug.
trying to cast telekinesis on the Grey Talon, but Grey Talon was an ult.
Oh, that's tech. That's not a bug. That's tech. Ever feel?
It's a feature now.
It's a feature now. I mean, what? It took like 7 months for Heavy Melee Cancel to be patched. 7 months for Ivy Flight to be patched. You know, some of these bugs just end up being features, right?
It's not a bug, it is a temporary feature.
A temporary feature. I mean, they become core parts of the set. What would you say to farming? Who do you think is the better farmer? Do you think it's the Talons or the Wraiths?
I definitely think the Wraiths, probably in the long run, are going to be having that advantage when it comes to farming.
Yeah. I mean, those Talon charge shots are very, very scary, right? And they're very good at farming, but those cards can just refresh so quickly. Oh my god, that Wraith is so low. And the Wraiths have a little bit of a lead, an 8k lead happening right now. People were talking about how the Talons were guaranteed to win, and I'm just not seeing it right now. I do think they have a little bit of an edge. Yeah. Very, very competitive game. But we will see. As the Talons get more tools in their arsenal, as they get more of those ults, they're going to start scaling. And that's going to start being scary. We have discovered, so for people who are not aware, Bebop stacks work in a very strange fashion. If you... so you get Bebop stacks if you damage people, and you get Bebop stacks if you kill people, right? Now, if you're playing a team of 6 Bebops and you damage people... that means that only you get those stacks. But if you kill somebody, everyone in the team gets those stacks. Anyhow, the Talons have grabbed... Wait, what? Wait, did the Talons just grab the first urn?
I believe so, and I believe the reason why it's on their side is because of a recent change made.
Yeah, normally I thought the first urn was
follow
always... Yeah.
Network league rules.
Yeah, that's interesting, actually. Oh. Oh, I see. First turn is 15%. Okay, that makes sense. I should read those patch notes a lot more carefully. I cast tournaments, for God's sake. Anyhow, we do see that the Talons use that urn very effectively, and the soul difference is a lot smaller. 2 big picks coming in from the Talon side, and that's probably going to be a flex slot, as we do see a big push happening on lane number 3, and lane number 1 might shortly be behind, especially because all of Wraiths are focused on lane number 2. So...
And all the Talons are also focused on lane number 2.
Yeah, not a bit quiver.
From both sides on blue right now.
Yeah. And you have to be just very careful, because every time you're a Wraith and you're even slightly bruised, you're just eligible to be owled, like in a matter of seconds. How much damage does an owl do right now? Like just around.
Right now, you're going to be taking around 400 damage from an owl on the high side, and about 380 on the low side.
Yeah. So like I see the Wraith, like at least 2 of the Wraiths are in 2 Talon range right now. So yeah, I'm surprised that there hasn't been like a chaining of ults. That to me sounds so intuitive. You just take a Wraith, you have her very low, just chain those ults.
I think the reason the Talons are not going with that is because fear of not having the ult when there is a kill that can be secured.
But it's fine, you have 6 Talons. There's always going to be a Talon with an ult somewhere, right?
Yeah, but that kind of changes whenever you start putting like 2, 3 owls on a singular person. Then you only have like 1 or 2 owls free for when you actually get someone low.
Yeah.
I believe that's why they aren't really just dumping a bunch of owls into like 1 or 2 people right now.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Also, yeah, the owl cams are really screwing with our lovely observer's vision. It's fine. We still love you. But yeah, it's just a bit difficult. The game's pretty buggy. The observer interfaces are not great yet. So it makes sense that they kind of morph weirdly at times. Anyhow, I do have to say there's a big push happening on lane number 1. One of the Talons has been telekinesis in, and that's going to be enough to get a pick. X-Stars has died a whole bunch of times at this point, right? Oh, 4 times.
Yeah, this is the 4th death.
It's interesting. X-Stars is one of the highest ranking members on the Talon team, so very interesting. I think that might be a strategy just to pick on him a little bit. Just knowing how effective he's going to be with his Talons.
A knockdown on Boost.
Which is very smart tech, right? Like, I mean, people say, oh, you should take a knockdown when there's only 2 targets, right? When you have, like, oh, a Talon and, like, I don't know, 7. You have 6 targets. I think it's one of the best techs. I do think that we're going to see debuff reducers and debuff removers coming in from the Talons to compensate. Especially because... Yeah, no, continue.
It's also going to be hurting a lot more because of the fact that Wraith's ultimate is also a knockdown now.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's not just a knockdown, it's a silence as well, which is really powerful, especially if you have a lot of these spirit talents that can burst a huge amount of damage in mere seconds. But if they're dead on the ground and they're not flying, they're just going to die. I mean, yeah, look at these Wraiths. They're hunting the Talons down. The Wraiths are having a huge advantage right now, and they have a 15k lead. We might have underestimated the Wraiths a bit more than we should have, Curse.
Possibly, because you also have to consider the fact that Wraith's ultimate as a knockdown is even better when you realize that it cannot be debuff removed away.
Yes.
Unlike actual knockdown.
Yeah. I mean, debuff remover also does a huge reduction of debuffs. So it's like, you know, you're silenced for a lot less time. But still, no, I completely understand what you're saying. Now, one of the 2 things that I like saying that McGinnis is a character in the game. And Viper is McGinnis but with stamina. And Wraith is McGinnis but good. So, yeah, we keep seeing this huge amount of damages going for the walkers. Even with a couple of gun items, you're just pouring damage to those walkers and getting them very quickly. And those Talons are not going to be in a good position, especially if they lose. And they're probably going to lose Walker number 1 here.
They possibly might lose Walker number 2 as well. We only see 1 Talon on that right Walker, but we see 2 Wraiths currently hovering on that right side. Now, the right Walker is about half health, and Wraith has a lot of objective damage, especially if they're able to get several onto that Walker over there.
Yeah. And I'm actually very curious. I'm sure that somebody can tell us in the chat because it probably is in the document. But do Wraiths full auto stack on top of one another? So if you have like 2 or 3 Wraiths full autoing, they just shoot with 100% increased fire rate? No. Alright, so you can only have 1 full auto at a time. Okay. The code of this game is just a very beautiful piece of artwork. I don't understand it at all. Metal skin, did you hear that? It's a very smart tech choice, actually, metal skin. You know that these Wraiths are going to be very gun heavy.
Everything in this game is coded differently depending on when the developers made it.
Yeah. Just a little bit more inconsistent than it should be. Those Talons are very isolated right now. We do see a target coming in.
We see an interesting buy, a Rescue Beam on Stellar.
Rescue Beam? Oh. Very interesting. I mean, you kind of have to have one of those Talons go support, right? To compensate for the fact that a lot of Talons are not going to be able to go Spirit, which is arguably the best build for Talons right now. But yeah, those Wraiths are really, really, really emphasizing their difference now. They managed to pick up 2 of the 3 walkers, and they're going to pick up walker number 3 very shortly, in my opinion. Yep, just 1 full auto away. And they're going to teleport out. Very well done. The Wraiths understand that they cannot really engage with the Talons that much, so they're just going for objectives, and suddenly the soul leads 25k. So, and Shadow Weave coming in from Soot. I think that's a very smart tech. The most dangerous...
That is a throwback item.
Yeah. So normally not a great item, But when I think of when is the Talon the strongest occurs?
Early game. And
No. I mean,
is
when he's
very-
flying, right?
Yes.
Yes, of course. So if you can sneak back on him, put the telekinesis in before he has time to respond, before he has time to get away, you just win. You just get like early picks. It's a great item, especially for the most fed of the Wraiths. Yeah, they're looking right now. Immediately, as I said, Shadow Weave, telekinesis, and suddenly you have a dead Talon. Very well done.
Yeah. I believe we're going to be seeing a lot more Shadow Weaves being bought, to be honest. Although I believe that is the only card Wraith I see right now.
I mean, the Shadow Weave is good even if you're a Bullet Wraith, right? Because it gives you like 40% attack speed or something. Let's see what it does. Oh yeah, 30% attack speed.
30% attack speed and 55 spirit power.
Which is a lot, isn't it?
Yes.
It's just a very powerful thing. Yeah, one of the Wraiths is just hidden near the urn. I think, just waiting a little bit. But yeah, Talon ult's coming in, seeing what they can pick. All the Wraiths are pretty healthy. There's not going to be much damage done. But yeah. Big push coming in. That's probably Talon number 2 getting picked. And that's not really going to be enough for you to push all the way to Shrines here. I don't know if you go mid here. So, Talon is very good at securing mid because A, you have the Spirit Snare, and B, you have the Talon ult, right? So, which was a good way to stun everything in a large area. Now, the Wraiths have their Telekinesis, which is another good way of securing mid, but maybe not as powerful as Talon ult. Do you ever go for mid here? If you're the Wraiths? Or... Oh, is that a smart idea from that Wraith?
Are going to be... I believe the Wraiths right now are just going to be focusing on trying to get that snowball even further. They're going to be using their lead to just force more stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just yeah, it's just gonna be like very hard to deny the Wraith's objectives. Like they're gonna come there, they're gonna kill the Pagan. They don't even care about having minion waves, right? If 6 Wraiths are able to shoot at a Guardian, it's gonna die. It's irrelevant how much backdoor protection you have. So yeah. We do see a Talon ult coming in.
Wraiths are starting mid.
Yeah. Out of the Talons are going to contest. They only have 2 ults available, but they do have their Spirit Snares. I think it's certainly contestable. The Talons do hear it. I think they're out of position, though. I
don't think the Talons have any right to deny the reshoot right now. Their waves are really bad, and all of them are in the base.
Yeah. But yeah, very early advantage for the Wraiths being developed into something a lot bigger.
We're starting to see a lot more big ticket items on the Wraiths. We just saw a crippling headshot by.
Yes, a curse I also see, I think. Yeah. Big curses, normal gun items. Siphon bullet, another Wraith staple. I keep calling Wraith Haze. Anyhow, they probably do need 1 pick before they go in. We did see the power of just having 5 charged shots aiming at you. So yeah, probably 1 more pick happening. Talon is just ulting into nothing. Look at that, the bombardment! the anti-air rockets, but that's not going to be enough. Pick number 2 is happening. One of the Talons is unstoppable, was that right? Yeah. Interesting tech. Interesting tech. Like, I don't know if that's the correct tech. I think E-shift over unstoppable here. I could be wrong. Anyhow,
yeah,
the Wraiths...
There's a chance that is gained there.
Yeah, the Wraiths should be able to just force Patron right here. They're 50k ahead. They have so much gun damage. I see a bunch of Wraiths with full auto already maxed. It should be pretty easy to secure that last Patron.
Yeah, the Grey Talons just allowed them too much strength early game. They just staggered very hard, and
yeah,
well, we saw what happened.
They should have gone for my strat, I think.
that kind of thing.
Hello, Wraiths. Congratulations on your win.
One.
Who do you think was the MVP of the game? Do you think it was the character? Do you think it was a specific hero? Do you think it was a specific ability?
I'd say Bird.
Bird.
I think
MVP.
overall,
Bird for them is MVP.
we're just more of an all-rounder character.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can do
Yeah,
a bunch of
like-
different
like
builds.
Jungle,
Talon's
but it's
super
probably
scary to
just
snipe,
like
but
jungle
can't
and
do
like
anything in jungle.
objective pressure.
Yeah, like they can't push
Okay.
objectives. They can't like get their jungle. So we just like.
We just got way
they
too
can't-
strong for them way too fast.
And then
Hey,
also Bard's
Talons.
really good into it.
Yeah.
Hey there. What do you think went wrong? Do you think it's a question of matchup, or do you think there was something wrong in the strategy?
We early
We're just
game.
bad at objectives.
Early game. And macro, yeah.
Yeah, we
Most
kind of
early
fucked
game.
up lane, and then like at that point, it's like they can split push a lot better. Their ults, like the ults just fuck. If they like two of them ult you, you're dead. There's not really much, and it has a low cooldown. So
And then they can itemize on top of that. So they get ults
yeah,
with instant CC, and then they get knocked down for another set of CC. It's really difficult to do anything in that situation.
Can we trust the community? They seem to be pretty correct with the Wraith game, but they were incredibly wrong on the Kelvin E. Sinclair game. Regardless, we're going to keep asking them, just in case they keep being right. Anyhow, have a good day. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell your family. I'm being very serious. Go tell your family that you love this channel. Okay, have a good day.